Hello everybody, my name is Hassan Dumbuya. Today I'm going to talk about how to prepare a protective safety, emergency or security plan in a workplace or a community. Learning how to design and develop a protective safety or security or emergency plan for any business place or a location or an event or organization or for an individual is one of the fundamental building block in a safety or emergency or security management or skills. It is the blueprint from which all other elements are laid so that once completed, the well-trained incident manager or safety manager or security manager can be able or have the confidence that the safety plans or procedure they put in place, he or she will design, will be fit for the purpose and to meet the requirements of that organizations. I'm going to explain two types of sections, the models. First of all, in putting a security plan in place or a safety plan or emergency plan, we have a two steps model that we should follow. The first model is called the areas of operation. It's called AO, areas of operations. The areas of operation, that is the AO, is the locations or area of the premises or buildings or community to be protected, or the venue for an event, or the venue where the individual required a protective required is going to be or going to take place. The second point talking about the areas of interest, that is called the AO. In putting in place safety plan, you have to look at the AOI, that is areas of interest. The AOI, that is area of interest, is the largest areas that the sounds surround the locations of the premises to be protected. The venue of these events or the venue where this individual required to be protective ranging is going to be safe. I'm going to explain about three steps. First of all, in describing these protective zones or the basic intellectuals requirement. Number one, we're looking at the objective of security or safety plan. The objective is to define the areas of which this information is required. The areas of operations or the areas of interest. That the objective is defining these concepts is to establish the area for which this information is required and to develop an internal set of intelligence requirements. This simply means that the areas of operation where you want to be protected, where you know your business is, you want to protect your business, you have areas of operation. You have to check and knows that my business, I can have more customer here, or this place is safe from hazard, safe from theft, safe from so many things. So you have to put all those things into considerations, right? I'm going to measure about 3 points. The good incident manager or a safety manager will be working around this site or these areas, right? Example, the perimeters of these areas in question, for example, where you are doing your business or in a community where you think that any incident will occur. So the incident manager needs to take a look and observe what is going on a daily basis, looking at the weakness, especially the routes and the place where public safety and staffs gathers, then he or she will generate a full descriptions of these premises, cover the location and surround area. And then the second point, a map of these premises and the surrounding of, like, for example, if you have a forest, right? People are living down this forest, so you have to look at the drainage facility. What is the drainage, where the drainage facility is going to pass? Then if you have your business, right, how people will be exiting their business place and how they will enter. Same like in the offices, how people will enter the office and how they will exit, and what mechanism you put in place in order for your business to be protected, to be safe from intruders, from theft, from natural hazard, where the evacuation process evacuated, the emergency points, evacuation points will be. So all those things you have to look into consideration, right? Including details of the contingent plans and the RVP, right? That where possible, appropriate local maps reference should be shown, right? Instructions of how people evacuate. Then floor plans of the premises or the communities or the building should be included in the possible, and stores which photographs and maps, right? If applicable, photos of all the floors or areas should be pointed out, how people will evacuate in case of any incidents, fire or anything. But the main objective of this topic, which talk about the preparation of safety and security planning, is how to put plan in place in case of any occurrence of incidents or any unexpected accident that is bound to happen, because accident is inevitable. So I'm going to highlight the outcome of these procedures of this safety plan. The outcome, I'm going to explain 3 points. One is to understand the area that is necessary to protect, right, or the area that is necessary to do the business. Or the area that is necessary to protect, right? Then point number 2 is to understand what critical elements exist within the area of operation or the areas of interest, like what type of business you want it to be done on your area, or what items you want to be protected where you are doing your business, or which organization, in your organization, what do you want to protect, in terms of safety, right? Then point number 3, the key is to establish communication with other players in the areas of interest or the areas of operation. For instance, if in case of any emergency situation, something happened. So in this emergency plan is to help the organization, so they can able to relate with other local authorities, like for example in case of fire, in case of flood. So at least to call these people that, okay, now we have this scenario, we have this situation in this area, so they will be able to call these people at the particular time. They will be ready to execute their duty to save lives, Then talking about step 2, describing the AO, which is areas of operations, and the areas of interest. Describe. So how are we going to describe? Objective: understanding the elements within the AO and the AOI. AOI mean areas of operations, can be influenced by threats or safety or security operation. Included steps. The steps of the AO is evacuations and vulnerability, how to evacuate, assessments of any buildings or the response or the information, Then defining the site characteristics, right? For example, site simply means that the areas that you are doing your business or an organization. So how are you going to define these risks that will be involved? First of all, number one, we're talking about the population evacuation. If there is any occurrence of incident, fraud, fire, so what are the procedures? How the incident manager, they put their plan how to save this population, right, to save the people. Then number two, talking about the security evacuation, right, how the responsibility of the safety teams or the incidents, how they can help to save the lives of the people. Then point number three, talking about incident vulnerability, identify the vulnerability, right? Things that are after the incident occur, things that will create more harms. How are they going to save people from not getting more injured in those incidents that occurred? Then I'm talking about defining the characteristics of a building or a community or infrastructure, right? Infrastructure, how to protect this place, and the population within the AO, the areas of interest. Identify how to interact among the elements in the AO that provide the opportunity and the vulnerability for each threat and your own safety and the activities around. So this is basically talking about the safety of this particular community or a building, how this incident manager or the security manager or the safety manager, how is going to handle this situation wherein after defining the population, that these are the amounts of people that are working here, these are the amounts of people that are in our community. In case of this scenario, how are you going to evacuate these people? Evacuate means how are you going to transport people from one disaster area to an area wherein there is a safe place. Then in this topic, we're talking about the outcome of this evacuation. What the outcome of it is to understand of the sites or the areas or the surrounding, that is the map, how to understand this area, that this area, the water is coming from this place, or these areas, this is the exit, or the route is the map, how you can be able to evacuate people in case of any incident or accident or any threat, right? Then number two, talking about identifications of what the outside can know about the site, how they can identifications, right? Then number three, talking about development of intelligence requirements for the safety or the incident manager or public safety. Yeah, so there are so many mechanisms that incident manager, you put in place that, okay, now there is a bridge that is here. What is can save people from not getting injured or to get into the water? So you know that particularly you have to put a barrier, or we help people not to injure themselves, right? Then if you know that, okay, there's a soil which how can I call it? Like there is a water place, you know, that is supposed to put a baking, you know. Then if there's a drainage passage, right? You know that, okay, you're supposed to put a slab wherein people will be able to step and people not get injured or fall into a hole, a pit, you know. So, and in describing in describing what is an areas of operations or areas of operation, right? How we can describe this one, like for example, a construction site, specifically the layout of a construction site. So you have to know that this is our area of operation, and these are things that are prone to risks, right? Like for example, the materials in your building construction, you know that okay, this thing can cause harm to us, so we have to put this, like for the rod, we have to put them in a safe place, right? The iron rod. So these are like construction site. Then number two, infrastructures. You know that the infrastructure that you are building, if it's like just a skeleton, if the block is not yet strong, so sometimes you have to watch for those things also. Then we're talking about all utilities at the site and the connections, right? Like the wire in every workplace or location, the wires connection. So all those things, to protect those things, like for example, the passage, you know that people are using this way all the time. So if there is a cable connection there, people always step on it and it can create damage, can create incident. So you have to find a way how they also will be on their own separate lane, how to protect people. Then you need to list, as the incident manager or the safety manager or security manager, you need to list where the essential services enter and leave in the premises or the community, right? And those that are among the company must be vulnerable points, cover all the aspects of gas, electricities, and telephone supplies and cable fuel. So this simply means that in every community or every workplace, right, the incident manager or the safety manager or the security managers, they or emergency manager, they should have the know-how about how the building are built and where is the electrical cable pass, which is the emergency place, and how to connect the internet cable, the fiber cable. So all those things, there should be a map about those things in case of emergency, something happens. So they have to put everything into consideration, how these things are passed in their locations, in their building or in community, right? Like for example, if like construction, they want to they want to create a road, right? A road. They have the emergency team. They have that will able to tell that here there is a fiber cable, here there is an electrical cable that is passed here. So those are the mechanisms which we call the safety and security planning, right? And safety and security planning also, you have to take all these things that can harm society, that can harm in workplace. So the plans that you put in place, that you try to keep everybody on a safety mode, is what we call preparation for a protective safety security planning. So I stop here, and my next topic I will also talk about security or safety plan.